And hi again, everyone. Welcome into this week's edition of the Jacket Corner. I'm Mickey Shadricks. The Oxford Yellow Jackets on the road last Friday night down in Alexander City in a big region game with Benjamin Russell. Jackets come up on the short end of the stick, losing to their region opponent by a final score of 40-21. Joined now by head coach Ryan Herring. And Coach, this is a very good football team. You had to travel and play last Friday night right up there with Opelika, kind of at the top of the region. We talked last week about the challenge with this football game, and they were a pretty tough team to take on, weren't they?
They were a very respectable opponent. They played great defense, and they did the things they had to do on offense to win the game. And my hat's off to them. We went down there and they beat us.
Well, we talked about Danny Horn and his coaching career, and he's a well-respected coach in the state of Alabama. His teams are typically what you saw on Friday night, weren't they? Solid, very good on defense, very solid, protect the ball on offense.
Yeah. I think he's got a template he's always used. He's going to run that 50 defense. He's going to have him some D linemen who kind of can disrupt everything you're doing with the run game. And on offense, he's going to run the football and protect it and throw it up just when he has to or needs to. And it works well for him. And then, they got a good team. They got some tough kids.
We talked before the show. You mentioned last week on the show you thought their defense would be one of the best you played. You told me before the show today that you think they may be better than Opelika on defense.
Yeah, I think as far as matchups for people that they probably have the best defense in the region. I think Opelika's offense is better than theirs, but I don't know. I know the nose guards, he's the best we've seen this year for sure. And
talk about the trip there, a very unusual place to play. It's called the Sportsplex. It's a neat stadium, a neat atmosphere. Talk about the trip down to Alexander City last Friday.
Well, we made it down there pretty quick. I think we made it about an hour and 20 minutes on a bus. That's pretty good. So it was an easy ride, and they had nice facilities. We had a great dressing room, big place to dress. The stadium's nice. The field's in good shape. It had rained earlier, but it drained well. Had a good crown on it. So everything was a great night for football.
Despite the loss, and we'll talk about this a little bit more later at the end of the program, despite the loss, you still have opportunity to get into the playoffs, and that's the main thing. Talk about where the team is psychologically after such a tough, hard-fought loss last Friday night, and a big game coming up this week with Pell City.
Well, the good thing is we got Pell City this week. And after the loss 2 years ago, that's still kind of in the kids' mind how Pell City acted, and all that type of stuff. And last year we got up for them, and it was a great game. And I think the same thing will happen this week. I'm glad we played them this week after a loss, because we know we got to bounce back because there's no other choice. And of course, playoffs are involved for us and Pell City. I mean, playoffs on the line, so you've got a rivalry, you've got a playoff spot. So it's going to be a good game, I'm sure.
More on the region and the matchup with Pell City later in the program. But first, when we come back, we'll take a look at highlights from last Friday night's first half with Benjamin Russell. Stay with us. Yeah, here come the Oxford Yellow Jackets onto the field down at the Sportsplex last Friday night. Coach, let's get into the first half.
Started out, great job right there, Ty, getting the ball on a little quick tunnel screen right there to Gamble. He does a good job of making one or two misses, getting about 30 yards. Then we kind of forced one in right here. They got us covered, and we kind of forced it, and sometimes that happens. But we come back on defense. Boy, great job by Kenny Britt right there, getting off a block and making a tackle. I'm telling you, I couldn't be prouder of him. He's a 10th grader, and he was the meanest Jacket, had the most hits Friday night. There goes Gamble right there, making guys miss with about another 20, 30-yard gain. Here we are right here. I thought we protected pretty good a lot of times, but sometimes we'd have some breakdowns in the nose just would disrupt us. There we are. Cookie had one in his hands, and it got away from him. Right there, missed a couple tackles, finally got him down. But, we just, like right here, they just run a quick slant and it goes 70. That's kind of been our problem all year long. Big plays, we give up big plays. We've got to make those plays. We've got to do a better job of reroute receivers and then making tackles. There's that nose guard in the backfield on a sweep, on the jet sweep out of gun. But anyway, Gamble turns field.
What a play by Gamble.
Ends up getting 12 yards somehow, and it should have been a 5-yard loss. That was a great job. There's Ty hitting Cookie right there, good catch over the middle for Cookie. Of course, I thought we threw the ball well. We had a couple interceptions that you wish you wouldn't have, but I still think we threw it well and we caught it well. There's a good job by the linebackers right there on that run. Here we go. We got a reverse right here. We know what's coming. We've talked about it all week, and we just don't get off blocks. And they hold us a little bit, but sometimes you get held. You still got to get off blocks. That doesn't give you an excuse not to make the play. Good job right here by Ronnie Isaac playing the blocker. Now, he got off the blocker, made a good tackle right there. Ronnie's gotten better each week. Pump and go. We're in the wrong. We should be rolling coverage right there, and we just have a lapse right there. And of course, anytime you make a mistake on defense, especially in the back end, it can cost you 6 points. Here's a good kickoff return by Rudolph. Wish he'd stayed on the sideline right there. I think he thought he could cut it back, but anyway, good job by kickoff return right there. We get a little screen and go, a little pump and go, and we hit Cookie right there. Good job, good throw and good catch. Here we go, nice play right here. He almost gets back line of scrimmage, throws it up for a touchdown. Cookie does a good job coming down with it. Cookie looked a little bit like Gamble right there. I told him, I said, you keep getting better, they're not gonna know who's who. But anyway, great job by Ty and Cookie. Here we are, we got them hemmed up. I mean, the bad thing was, like in some of the games we've had this year, we'll play 3 great plays, then we'll have a bad play. Right here, the inside linebacker chases dive when, we worked all week on taking quarterback. But it's just mental mistakes like that we can't make. We're going into game 8. It's time to quit making those kind of mistakes. There we are, just not making the tackle, locking up. It's not like that guy's an All-American. We're just playing poorly. We're not tackling. And, those things they've got to be fixed. They've got to change. And it's time to do it. It's week 8. There's enough excuses about kids with experience from last year, not having experience or young. Well, all those are excuses now. It's a rival game this week. It's Pell City. It's time to make plays.
And there you see the halftime score. Ben Russell up 19-7. What was the message at halftime?
Bottom line, we've got to play defense. We've got to tackle. We've got to do the simple things, the basic things you have to do in a football game to win. Things a lot of people maybe don't understand sitting in the stands, but the biggest difference in the game to that point or through the whole game is Ben Russell's defense was playing solid and ours wasn't. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest difference. They were playing good defense and we weren't. People in the stands may think we're, something offensively wasn't working well. You got to play defense. And Ben Russell was doing that, and we weren't. And that's just the biggest difference in the game.
Yeah, and then they hit you with the big play there. And when you're playing a good team like that, it's tough when you give them something.
Well, big plays also, create momentum. And, big plays builds their momentum. And, of course, just that makes them a tougher team to defend. Now their playbook opens up a little more, and so we just got to play better defense. That's the bottom line.
All right, we'll take a break, come back with second half highlights in a moment. As we go to break, let's listen in to the Oxford High School Marching Band who made the trip down to Alex City last Friday night. And we're back in the Jacket Corner. Time now for second half highlights. Benjamin Russell receiving the kickoff with a 19-7 lead over the Yellow Jackets.
19-7. We've gone into halftime, talking about we got to get momentum back. We got to get out here and get a stop. And they take the kickoff all the way back. It wasn't like the guys a great, running back or somebody that we can't stop. We do a poor job. We go down and stop before we get to the wall. They don't do a good job, we've got to coach harder, we've got to play better. But good job right there running by Gamble. Gets the ball knocked out right there at the end, but gets back on it. Great job on play action right here, hitting Cookie. He goes down to the 1. It seems like Cookie's been tackled on about the 1-yard line several times this year. Anyway, there we are, getting in the end zone right there with Gamble, just running right at him. And it was a little tougher than you think to get in with that nose guard sitting there. He wasn't going to just let us walk in free. Here we come out here, boom. Take the quarterback with the inside linebacker, cause the fumble, get on the ball. So, hey, it's 26-14, we got the ball, let's go make something happen. Let's turn this thing into a game. And we just can't get over the hump right here. They hold up 2 of our receivers, just grab and hold them. And so they don't even get to get on routes, we don't get a call. But that's just how it is on the road, I guess sometimes. Right here, we got the play stopped in the backfield. He improvises. We got 2 guys, outside linebacker and cornerback, lose outside leverage, and he just runs around the hump, takes it all the way in for a touchdown. Just poor play. Just our football IQ is just real low, and we've talked about that, since Friday night. We've got to play smarter. I don't know if we got to play better. We got to play smarter. Right here, throwing interception. Guy makes a great play. I'm not going to take anything away from him. That was a great job. That kid right there was a good football player. I didn't like his hair, but he played football well. We got good coverage right here. He gets out of the pocket, finds number 7. We know we got to stop him. We don't do a good job of it. Right here, we got 3 guys unblocked that hit him, and nobody locks up. And that's just playing soft. That's not Oxford football right there. And I really think this Friday night you're not going to see that. I think you're going to see some kids hitting and locking up and finishing every play. Hit Stovall right here in a little out route. 7 comes and pops him real good. That 7 was a good player on both sides of the ball for them. Hit a little delay right here to Sip, and Sip does a good job. I was worried the guy was going to run him down and hurt him. I told him, don't let that guy hurt you when he gets to you. We tried a little boot right here, and it was open for a second. We just didn't get rid of it quick enough, which isn't Ty's fault. That's just how the play was made to work, and they do a good job recovering and making a play. And like I said earlier, they played good defense. They played hard. They ran around the hit. They covered well. There's number 5 right there on interception. Good job right here saving the touchdown by Weber. That's a big deal. A lot of times, if you just let somebody go in and score, that's 7 points. Well, just making that tackle right there saved us a touchdown. Even though the game really is not close at this point at the end of the game, it's still about finishing and playing with pride. And I thought we did that. I thought right here offense, it's 40-14, a couple minutes left in the 4th quarter, but we still battled down the field and go score. And I'm proud to say that we did that. Play action right here, hit Stovall. Proud of him. It's good to see his daddy on the sideline at the games doing well.
Well, and there you see the team shaking hands after the game, and your final score: Benjamin Russell defeats the Oxford Yellow Jackets 40-21. Oxford falls to 3-4 after the loss. And Coach and I back on the show now, and the way they started the second half with the kickoff return for a touchdown, then that drive you had, that was big. That kind of got you back in the game. You could have folded the 10th there, could have folded the 10th there at the end, got that other touchdown. You got to be proud that the kids didn't quit in that second half.
I am. And Opelika game was the same way. You're playing against a good opponent, and it'd be easy to just say, hey, we're not going to win this game. Let's just get through it and get home and work on next week or get ready for next week. But we kept on playing. Offense, we took it down, scored at the end of the game. I like that. That says something. That's why I still think we got a chance to make a run this year. We got it because we've got just enough. We can go make a run. We just got to put it all together. We got to play better defense. We got to tackle.
Did you see anything else? I know it was a frustrating region loss, but did you see anything else in the game that you could take positives out of?
Well, it's like I said earlier. You got certain plays on defense where we look good. We go do our job and make it look easy. And then next you have a mental error, or you have a guy, a missed assignment, and it costs you 6 points. We just got to bridge that gap, and I thought against Vestavia, we did, and I was wanting us to move on forward. But, Tommy Rudolph, our safety, who has been making some great plays for us, he had a couple of mental mistakes Friday night, and it killed us. And he knows it, and nobody was hurting more than him about it. But, we got to have guys like him. They've got to make the plays they're supposed to make for us to win. And this Friday night, he's got to make plays. He's got to do the things he's supposed to do, and everybody does. But we got to have our seniors, especially like Tommy. He's got to make plays on defense. He's got to make tackles. You can't make mistakes. And I think if we can bridge that gap, we're going to be okay.
Well, as we always say, even in a loss, there's individual performances that are need to be highlighted, and it's time for our weekly player awards from the Benjamin Russell game. Coach, take us through them.
Air Jacket this week was Jacob Cook. Of course, you saw him make a couple of catches. Racehorse Award, Tredarian Gamble. Most hits, Kenny Brent, sophomore. I'm extremely proud of the way Kenny played Friday night. Highest grade defense line, Cole Hurd. Cole's got a heart as big as anybody. Highest grade offense line, Jacob McGuffey. Jacob's solid every week. I can't say enough about Big Guff. Meanest Jacket, Kenny Britt. That's a sophomore, and that's something to be a sophomore and have most hits and be meanest Jacket. So
he's up there every week.
I'm telling you, Kenny's doing a great job for us. Take away Jermaine Taylor. Jermaine hurt his ankle a little bit, but kept on playing through it. Hammer Award, Trey Gamble. You probably didn't see it if you weren't looking for it, but he ran over 2 guys Friday night. I mean, it was hard licks. Special Teams Award, Jacob Shea. Jacob snaps on extra point and punts and has done great all year for us. Pride Award this week goes Dylan Yates. Last week, Dylan gave us a heck of a look against the first team defense and went in on kickoff this week and made a tackle. So real proud of Dylan. I'm just glad he's on the team.
All right, that's our player awards for this week. When we come back, we'll have our player spotlight and we'll look ahead to this big matchup Friday night, a do or die game with Pell City at Lamar Field. We'll be back in just a moment.
See a key clubber from Oxford High School. Dumps that pass on. There's Dover. He does. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets. Good job.
Well, it's back to the trenches for this week's player spotlight here on the Jacket Corner. You saw his name mentioned in the individual player awards, and Jermaine Taylor is our focus this week. Here's Chase Robinson.
Jermaine Taylor may not be the biggest defensive lineman on the Oxford football team, but still has his fair share of tackles against guys way bigger and has the heart to keep pushing.
It takes a lot and a lot of toughness and a lot of heart because most of the people I go against are 250, 280, 300, way bigger than I am.
To tell you what, Jermaine Taylor has a heart of a champion. He's not the biggest dog out there, but he's got the biggest heart out there. And he means a lot to me. He means a lot to this team. Every play he gives us all he's got. He's undersized. He's probably 5'8", 180, but he's playing against guys that are 6'3", 300 every week, and plays great. And we're just lucky to have him.
Against Benjamin Russell this past Friday night, Taylor made 37 solo tackles, 12 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and 1 fumble recovery. And defensive line coach Chad Cochran says not only is Jermaine Taylor a good leader, but does exactly what the coaches tell him to every time.
Plays with great hands, he plays with great hat. He hits people in the face the way we teach it and the way we coach it. And that's the biggest thing for him and our guys up front this year is they do a great job of doing what they're coached to do. And he plays with great energy. Great energy and great effort and a lot of heart can carry you a long way, especially in high school football.
For the Jacket Corner, I'm Chase Robinson.
Well, Coach, it seems to be a theme each week on our player spotlight. We're always talking about a good, tough, hard-nosed kid who's undersized. And that's what we got with Jermaine Taylor, right?
Well, I'm going to tell you now, he is the epitome of being coachable. He absorbs everything. Coach Cochran coaches hard, expects a lot out of him, and he's there every day. He's there on time. He never complains. Right now he's got a hurt ankle and he's playing with it. He's the type of kid you're glad to have in your program, because we always talk about coachability, and Jermaine's coachability is second to none.
All right, time to talk about the task at hand this week. First, let's look at the region standings and kind of set things up. There you see 6A Region 3. Opelika pretty much in control as they have been all season. They're undefeated in region play. Then you have Chelsea and Benjamin Russell at 2-1 in the region. Then Valley, Pell City, Chilton County, and Oxford all with 1 region win apiece. Coach, you only have 1 more region game after this week against Pell City. But the bottom line to all of this, as we look at the matchup this Friday night at Lamar Field, 3-4 Oxford versus 4-2 Pell City, it's pretty simple. The winner is still alive in the playoffs. The loser is pretty much eliminated from playoff contention.
Yeah, it's right here in front of us. We just got to go out there and play football and beat Pell City, and of course life goes on. And of course, they're going to be feeling the same way. And it was kind of the same deal last year, except last year, you know, if they'd have beat us, we'd have been fourth, they'd been second, and we won, so we were second, and it knocked them out. So, you know, they knocked us out 2 years ago.
At Lamar Field.
So it's going to be a battle. I expect nothing less.
Well, not only do you have the playoff implications in that scenario, you got the rivalry implications. You got it all this Friday night.
Yeah, you know, when I was coming up, when you were playing, Pell City really wasn't a rivalry to us. But now we've got to make them a rivalry. And Coach Cochran played at Pell City, and he's from Pell City, and he said, you know, Oxford's always been their rival. And I said, well, y'all hadn't always been our rival, but we're going to make them our rival Friday night, I can tell you that.
All right, and we will be back with you again next week on the Jacket Corner, but we'll also remind you that Coach Herring will be with us this Friday night as a special guest on the Pigskin Roundup to talk about the Pell City game. So you don't have to wait to the Jacket Corner next week to hear Coach Herring's thoughts on Oxford and Pell City coming up this Friday night. Good luck, Coach. Big game this Friday night. All right, we'll be back with you again next week right here on the Jacket Corner. See you then.
Looking inside, screen the big man. Breaks the tackle, got some money. There's another, across the 50. There he is right there. Down the middle of the field here, possibly. And that's what he's trying to do. Now he's going to take off himself, looking. Fires it across the way. Cookie goes up. See a key clubber from Oxford High School. Dumps that pass off. Get in there, Stovall. Get in there, Ryan. He does. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
Good job right there.
Nice way to